Hello students, welcome everyone. Welcome to our today's session that is related to class 9th maths. Today we will discuss 14th chapter of our NCERT book that is statistics. So here we start. First of all, what the term statics means. So statics, it deals with the collection, presentation, analysis, and you can say the interpretation of any numerical data which is collected. Now, here the term comes data. What data is? So data, in the previous classes also you studied that we are recording the data and we are representing it in the graphical form. So data is a systematic record of facts or different values you can say. It is called the data. So first of all, before starting our work, our first step is to collect the data. So first step in any investigation is the collection of data. First of all, we collect the data. So the data collected, it may be for the whole population, it may be for the sample only. So many of the real life example also we can see in our day-to-day life which we collect. For example, we are collecting the data regarding the weight of the student in our class. Okay, we are collecting the production of wheat in last 10 years so that we can further analysis that, okay, to make something the terms easier. Or you can say yeah, we are collecting the data regarding the floods in our locality, or you can say the rainfall in last 10 years and so on. We can collect the data. These all are the examples how we collect the data. Now we are presenting that data. Okay, what presentation means? We are representing it in the form of table, in the form of charts, in the form of graphs. We are representing it. So when we are arranging the data in an order to study its features, it is called the presentation of data. It is called presentation of data. And data, it can be arranged in the ascending order or you can say in the descending order. If we are arranging the data in ascending or descending order, it is called the array data, or you can say it is an array. We can also organize that information in the form of tables. You can see in a frequency distribution table, or in the form of the graph, in the form of the chart, so that we can study them. Okay, and what analysis and interpretation means? So that we can understand it and we can take the decision, okay, that can affect us, that is for the well-being of us, so that we can take the further other decision on the behalf of that information. Okay, so these are data which we are gathering. It is useful for solving the issues so that we cannot those type of issues we are not faced in the further next years. Okay, so that is the reason we are collecting the data so that we can analyze it, we can interpret it for our benefit. So these all are the topics regarding to the collection of data, presentation of data, and you can see the analysis and interpretation of data. Now I think the term, the statics, now it is very clear to you all that how it deals with the collection, presentation, analysis and interpretation of the data. Yes. Now, when we are recording the data, data can be, when we are recording it, it can be of two types. We can say it is a quantitative data or it can be a qualitative data. So quantitative data, when the data is having some numeric values, like we are saying that marks in the examination, age of the student in the class, or you can say the weight of the student in the class. So all these are the quantitative data, means we are having a particular measurement for that particular data. Okay, and when the data is known as qualitative data, when we are taking the common properties like the gender of the student in the class, or you can say the blood group of the student, so this is the qualitative data. Okay, now the term quantitative and qualitative, now these both things are clear to you all. So when we are collecting the data on the behalf of its source type, okay, from where we are collecting that data, we are categorizing the data in the two parts. You can say the data can be the primary data or the secondary data. Okay, what the term primary data is? When we are collecting the data, when the researcher is collecting the data for a specific purpose. then it is known as primary data. Okay, and when we are talking about the secondary data, so the data it is already exists, someone has already gathered that data and we are utilizing that data for our purpose, that is known as the secondary data. Okay, so on the behalf of the source type, data is of two types, primary as well as secondary. Now, on the behalf of the data variable, it is also again of two types, discrete and continuous. Okay, when the data it is having a certain value. Okay, when a certain value is present there, for example, in blood group and gender, a certain value is there. So in that case, it is called as discrete data. And when it is known as continuous data, when it is having the lower point or the highest point. Okay, for example, we are having the measurement. So the same example we will take again, that we are taking the weight of the student or we are taking the height of the student. So in that case, we are having the lower point as well as the higher point. We are taking the range. So that data it is known as the continuous data. So now quantitative, qualitative, primary, secondary, discrete and continuous, all these points are clear to you all and you can easily write the definition. These all are the important definition which will be helpful for you for further answering the further questions. Okay. Now, I have told you the presentation of data. So when we are presenting the data, we can divide the data in two forms. You can see ungrouped data or you can see the grouped data. So first definition come here, what the raw data or what ungrouped data is. Okay, so when the data is obtained in the original form, whatever the form we are collecting that data, it is called as raw data or ungrouped data. For example, just see the below example given to you. The 30 students, I have collected the data for 30 students. They have given the exam, physics exam, and the marks are as below. So marks are 28, 31, 17, and so on. So here the data is in its original form. We have not arranged the data in any another form. So this is called as ungrouped data or raw data. Okay, now when we are arranging that data in ascending or descending order, I have told you that we have to arrange it in the ascending or descending order. So when we are arranging it in ascending or descending order, it is known as array. So just see the example, we have arranged it in the ascending order. Now once we have arranged in the ascending order, we are finding that 8, it is the lowest limit and 58, it is the highest one. So we can find the range. What the range is? It is also the important definition. Range is, it is the difference between the maximum and minimum values. Okay, the difference between the maximum and minimum values of the observation, it is known as range. So when this data is with us, we can easily find out range. How? We can subtract lowest limit from the upper limit. So 58 minus 8, so 50 is the range of this particular given data. Okay, now when we are arranging the data in the tabular format, it is known as frequency distribution table. Okay, when we are arranging the data in tabular form, what it is known as frequency distribution table. Yes, second type of data, it is group data. Just see the data I have told you in the ungrouped one. The numbers is very large. Okay, for approaching it, for getting some result, it is very hard because of the large values of number. So what we are doing, we are making a certain group. For a suitable size we will decide, and we are making a certain group, for example from 0 to 5, from 5 to 10, from 10 to 15, and so on. So in that case, it is known as the grouped frequency distribution table, because we are making the group. Okay, so while making the group, if we are giving a group the value, it is known as the classes or class interval. Okay, for example, I am making the group 0 to 5, 5 to 10. So it is the class interval. And the number of values each class contain. It is the class size or class width. For example, 0 to 5. What is the class size there? 5. 5 to 10, class size is 5 only. So this is the now the difference between the classes and class size. It is very clear to you all that what the class is it and what the class size is. Now in the classes, the lowest value, for example 0 to 5, 0 is the lowest class limit and the higher value, that 5, it is the upper class limit. Okay, so classes, it is the group of value, Class size, it is the value that class contain. Lower value, it is called the lower class limit, and upper value, higher value, it is called the upper class limit. Now, we also have to find out the class mark. So what class mark is there? It is the mid value of the two limits of that particular class. For example, 0 to 5, if you have to find out the class mark. So how can you find that particular class mark? 0 plus 5 upon 2, mid value. Okay, mid value is the class mark. Now, one more term comes there when we are discussing about the group data. We can group the data in two forms, in inclusive form or in exclusive form. Okay, so what is the inclusive form? Means discontinuous frequency distribution, means that frequency distribution is not continuous. Okay, a frequency distribution in which upper limit of class differ from the lower limit, in which upper and lower limit both are the differ one. So that is known as the inclusive. And when the upper limit of one class coincide from the lower limit of the succeeding another class, it is known as the exclusive. Let us discuss one example so that inclusive and exclusive both are clear to you all. So just see the same example we have taken for the 30 students in a class in physics examination. That data is recorded here. Now, when we are collecting the inclusive or discontinuous frequency table, just have a look to the classes. How I am taking it: 0 to 9, 10 to 19, 20 to 29, 30 to 39. So just check out here. Lower limit is 0, upper is 9. In the next, lower is 10, upper is 19. So there is discontinuation there. There is a gap of one number. So this is inclusive frequency distribution. Okay. Now, when we are discussing regarding the exclusive distribution, in that case, just have a look to the table. 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30. So here, the upper limit of the first class is the lowest limit for the second class. So this is known as exclusive or continuous frequency distribution. Okay, now, one more thing you have to take care in continuous frequency table, that if we are taking 10 here, okay, we are writing 0 to 10, but the data we are collecting from 0 to 9 only. 10 we are including in the next group. Okay, 20 we are including in the next group. Okay, so here we are excluding the upper limit. We are not including that one. Na? We are excluding the upper limit. We are writing 0 to 10, but we are collecting the data up to 9 only. Because if we collect the data up to 10, then in the next range also we will collect data up from 10. So that data is recorded again and again. So that is the reason we are writing 0 to 10, but we are collecting the data up to 9 only. We are excluding the upper limit there. Okay, again 10 will be continued in the second term. So this so on we will continue. So these all things are regarding to the continuous distribution, frequency distribution and exclusive frequency distribution. Now regarding the mean, median, mode and the other things from this chapter from different graphs, we will discuss in the next video. Till then, thank you, take care and complete your exercise.